Hello YouTube, so today we've got something slightly different. I'm going to be installing a new sprocket chain and a full brake gyro system. I'm going to try and talk you all through it while I'm doing it, so it should hopefully help you out if you want to be doing it. What I'll do first is I'll show you all the parts that I'm going to be installing and I'll tell you what they are. So first off, we've got a BSD Superlight sprocket, 25 tooth, just a sprocket really, nothing really fancy. This is a shadow chain, half link. Did the job. It was going to work. What I'll do, I'll fit those two bits on first, and then when I go to install the brake, I'll tell you exactly what all the parts are. For the brake, I've already installed all of the mounts, the detangler and the top plate, but everything else we're going to be installing. First, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to loosen the back wheel off, move it all the way forward. It makes it easier to change these bits over. Okay, the back wheel is now loose. I'm going to take off the chain first, and then we'll change the sprocket. What you'll need to take off a chain is a chain tool, which is specifically one like this, and it pushes the pin out when you do that. So the best way to do this is take the chain off the sprocket first, like so. Makes it a lot easier to just take it off. If you can see there, put that on the chain, make sure the pin's lining up with the pin of the chain, and then screw it. Because I'm taking this one off and changing it. If you're wanting to put it back on, make sure you don't push the pin all the way through, otherwise you'll never get it back on. So if I show you here, look, can you see how there's the pin in the middle? If you leave it like that, you'll be able to get the chain back on. Right, so what we're going to do next, this is an 8mm Allen key, and these are both 6s, and there's a 6 on the back here. So I'm going to loosen all those off, crank arm come off, and we can swap this over. What you always need to do is undo these two 6s first. So I was struggling getting into here with this 6mm because of the handle here. So I've got another set of Allen keys, and hopefully this will let me take it off. So with those ones undone, I can now take the end bolt off. In case you haven't noticed, it's very warm out here today. Right, so it comes off. This is the other bolt here that's just 6mm. Take this off and put the new sprocket onto here first. So it's all a bit gunky in there, but we're going to leave it. We'll get some new bearings at some point. So what you do here, that's actually quite loose, that's not a good sign. So I'll take that one off and I'll get the new sprocket. Okay, so we've got the new sprocket. Actually quite thick, didn't expect that. Quite light though, pretty cool. Alright, what we'll do, so we'll put this on like this. So if you can see that this lines up with there. We won't do it all the way tight yet until we get it onto the bike. So as you can see, if you line those up, it should slide straight on. So 8mm Allen key again for the crank bolt. So we want to make sure this is tight, but not too tight that you can press your bearings. Shouldn't do that, but see there, that's gone really stiff. So if we loosen off a little bit, go back there so it's smooth. We'll go back a little bit. Go about there. That's nice and smooth. That's what you want. You don't want it too tight. So now we'll tighten up the other two. These are the 6mm. You want to make sure these ones are nice and tight because you don't want these going loose. go. You want to make sure it's still spinning nice and freely. Just good like that. That's okay, it's a little bit stiff at the end there, but you don't want your cranks moving. Right, let's get the chain on. So the chains will always come longer than they need to be, so you do have to cut it to length, but I'll show you how to do that. So there is a specific way to put this chain on. What you want is to have the chain looking like this, and it's sitting on the top there like that. So the flatter pieces at the top, and the round bits are what's touching the teeth. So what I'll show you first, this one actually already comes with the pin in there like that. So if you leave that in, that's how we're going to join it. So you want to put the chain on like this, and you're not really going to be able to see this, but you want to get it as tight as possible, the wheel all the way forward, and you can sort of measure where it needs to be. There we go, the chain's cut. So there's an easier way to join the chain before we put it on. So if you just take it off the sprocket at the front, connect this piece at the back. So basically what we're doing now is just pushing the pin back through till it's centered. Okay, there we go, it's joined. So what we'll do now, put the chain on the sprocket. And all we need to do is just pull the wheel back slightly so it gets nice and tight. So that's nice and tight now. And there we go. One new chain and sprocket. So before I forget, just make sure one last thing you need to do is tighten up the 6mm bolt at the back. And there we go, that's all sorted. Right, so we're going to move on to the brake first. What we're going to do, we'll put the calipers on, put the lever on, and then we'll just adjust the cables where they need to be. And I'm hoping that is enough movement. If not, I'll have to get a different top plate, which I'm hoping I won't need to do. But we'll get started. So brake wise, I have the Odyssey Springfield caliper. It's very simple. Usual calipers have a spring here, which keeps them spring loaded. But these, as you can see, there's a spring there, which just keeps it sort of centered. So as long as if your wheel's in straight, this is always going to be perfect. So what we need to be doing with this is we need to have the caliper this way and the bolts go from this way, and it just slots straight onto these tabs here. Right, let's get these tightened up. So these want to be tight but not overly tight. And there we go, that's the caliper installed. So it comes with some small brake pads, but we're not going to be using those. I'll show you what we're going to use. So we have some proper Byco clear brake pads. These are screech pads, so it is going to make a noise, but the brake is always on or off, and it doesn't take the paint off my rims here. So what we'll do, we'll take off the old pads first. Now on these pads, they do actually have a mark. I don't know whether you can see it. So it says forward that way. So what we want on this one is the forward motion going this way. Yep, pretty good me. Okay, so next up, what I'll do, this is a left lever, because I always run on the left. Basically, just going to put it right on there. There we go, so that's on. I'll fix the grip in a little bit. Don't need to worry about that now, we'll just get the brake on. We'll start off with the top cable. So this one I've got is a 1 splits into a 2, which goes to the detangler there. This is just an Odyssey cable. It's a normal 1x2, and it's white. So the pack comes with a lot of different ends for it. There's two types of different threads. So all you need to do with yours is just, obviously mine's the black ones, just make sure they screw in before you put the cable on. And what you would do with these, simply put them on like so. There we go, just like that. And then we'll fit it to the bar. So we'll start off with a lever. So this hooks into the back of this lever, just there like that. Now, so you can see how that works. Make sure it runs nice and smooth. You don't want it all caught up in here. So you have a short and a long. Obviously short goes to the shorter side, the long goes to the longest distance from the lever. We'll go all the way in for now, but for minor adjustments later on, these will be set differently. Okay, so they're both screwed in. You can see there, what we're going to do is put a piece of tape around there to stop that from rattling. So there we go. And these pieces of the brakes hook onto the detangler, just like that, look. There you go. You have the detangler right at the bottom. We don't want to have any play in this lever here. See that? So you need to get rid of that. And what you would do is just undo these ones here. So if we try that again, detangler all the way at the bottom. There we go. So there's no play there now. So that's set up perfectly. You want all the tension on all of the cables here. Okay, so next part is the bottom cable, which goes from these pieces here to here into the caliper. And this is a Kinks BMX cable. It's a 2 all the way, so it doesn't go 2 into 1. And it comes luckily with the mod here, which connects just to the piece here. So it's going to go 2 all the way to 2 there. Now what we'll do, we'll start off at this end and we'll work our way back. So you can sort of see like a natural curve there. We'll stay with that for these here. So if you get that screwed into the bottom piece. And I shall tape here again, just to keep that cable out of the way. There we go, so you don't want to make sure that's too tight yet. So they won't sit there like that. Tape it so it looks a bit like that. That will run a lot smoother. These ones are slightly different because we have 3 little bits on the end. And all we should need to do is connect them in. Alright, let's feel the brake. So we can see the detangler's a bit at the top there, so I'm just going to put a bit of tension onto both of the calipers. Okay, so it's sort of centred, and that does feel pretty good. Now I was going to use these 2 barrel adjusters just to sort of line this up. So this one I want to pull a bit further. And that is one sorted brake. What I'll do now is cut off these that I know it's the right size. So I'll trim those down. But that feels pretty good. So I'll tape those up out of the way, like that. So the best thing usually for doing this is a little bit of electrical tape. But I've only got some duct tape at the minute, so that'll have to do. What I'm going to do is just rip it halfway down, half the top, half the bottom. You don't need a lot on there, just enough to keep it on. Pretty cool. And we'll just do the same to the top. So what I'm going to do now is just cut the ends off here, because you don't need 3 on there. We'll just cut it to about here. The best thing for this is to use some proper cable cutters. If you can see there's 3 on there, we use the first one, so we'll get rid of the other 2. Like so. And there we go, that should be one finished brake. Let's go and take a little test ride. Oh, it worked. Might tighten it up a little bit though. So the way I'm going to do that is just tighten up the bottom ones here. And there we go. Yep, it holds pretty strong as well, which is nice. Okay, thanks for watching guys, we'll see you next time. Bye.